Hello, my name is Nathan and I am here to talk about the vocab words for Standard 8. Let's get started. The Rebellion of Nat Turner. Nathaniel Turner was an American slave who led a slave rebellion in Virginia on August 21, 1831 that resulted in 60 white deaths and at least 100 black deaths. Abolitionism. The abolitionist movement called for the end of the institution of slavery, and it existed in one form or another since colonial times. The early case had been stated most consistently by the Quakers. William Lloyd Garrison was a prominent American abolitionist, journalist, and social reformer. He is best known as the editor of the abolitionist newspaper The Liberator, and was one of the founders of the American Anti-Slavery Society. Frederick Douglass was an American social reformer, orator, writer, and statesman. After escaping from slavery, he became a leader of the abolitionist movement, gaining note for his dazzling oratory and incisive anti-slavery writing. Grimke, Sister Angelina Grimke and her sister Sarah Grimke were legends in their own lifetimes. Together these South Carolina sisters made history, daring to speak before promiscuous or mixed crowds of men and women, publishing some of the most powerful anti-slavery tracts of the antebellum era, and stretching the boundaries of women's public role as the first women to testify before a state legislature on the question of African American rights. The Missouri Compromise was passed in 1820 between the pro-slavery and anti-slavery factions in the United States Congress, involving primarily the regulation of slavery in the Western Territories. It prohibited slavery in the former Louisiana Territory north of the parallel 36 degrees 30 single quote north, except within the boundaries of the proposed state of Missouri. To balance the number of slave states and free states, the northern region of what was then Massachusetts was admitted into the United States as a free state to become Maine. Prior to the agreement, the House of Representatives had refused to accept this compromise, and a conference committee was appointed. Nullification crisis arose in the early 1830s when leaders of South Carolina advanced the idea that a state did not have to follow a federal law and could, in effect, nullify the law. States' rights, government, politics, and diplomacy, a doctrine advocating the severe curtailment of federal powers by such an interpretation of the Constitution. John Caldwell Calhoun was a leading American politician and political theorist from South Carolina during the first half of the 19th century. Calhoun eloquently spoke out on every issue of his day, but often changed positions. Sectionalism and exaggerated devotion to the interests of a region. The Mexican-American War, also known as the Mexican War or the U.S.-Mexican War, was an armed conflict between the United States of America and Mexico from 1846 to 1848 in the wake of the 1845 U.S. annexation of Texas, which Mexico considered part of its territory despite the 1836 Texas Revolution. Wilmot Proviso, 1846, amendment to a bill put before the U.S. House of Representatives. During the Mexican War, it provided an appropriation of $1 million to enable President Polk to negotiate a territorial settlement with Mexico. David Wilmot introduced an amendment to the bill stipulating that none of the territory acquired in the Mexican War should be open to slavery. The Compromise of 1850 was a package of 5 bills, passed in the United States in September 1850, which defused a 4-year confrontation between the slave states of the South and the free states of the North regarding the status of territories acquired during the Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848. The Compromise, drafted by Whig Senator Henry Clay of Kentucky and brokered by Clay and Democrat Stephen Douglas, avoided secession or civil war and reduced sectional conflict for 4 years.